Hello, everyone. I'm Sybil Starr, and I'm here to give the astrology forecast for the Pisces new moon, which occurs on February 27th at 9 degrees and 40 minutes of Pisces at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. Creative energies are really strong under this new moon, allowing us to plant seeds and set intentions for the month ahead as it prepares us for new birth at the spring equinox. All right, I'm going to screen share right now. We're going to look at the chart of this new moon. All right, so as you can see, this new moon has got a huge amount of Pisces. There are 7 points in Pisces. We've got the sun and the moon at 9 degrees, 40 minutes. We also have Ceres, the asteroid Ceres, or dwarf planet. I guess they actually say she's a dwarf planet. Then we've got Saturn and Mercury. They're conjunct in Pisces. Saturn's at 20 degrees. Mercury's at 24 degrees. And then we have the North Node and Neptune conjunct at 27 and 28 degrees of Pisces. So just a lot of Pisces, a lot of water. Okay. And of course, Pisces and Neptune rules the great cosmic sea of the collective unconscious and basically all the waters of the world. So then, and what else do we have going on? So what we've got is we still have Mars. Mars has just gone direct. Mars goes direct on February 23rd, has been retrograde since December 6th. And Mars is in a square here to Chiron. He's trine Saturn. What else is he doing? I think that's it. Right. And he's still out of bounds. And so we'll be talking about that. And also Uranus is sextile this Saturn and Mercury. We're also going to be talking about Venus because she's at 10 degrees, 45 minutes of Aries. She's going to go retrograde on March 1st at 10 degrees, 49 degrees of Aries. So that's really powerful. And we also have Pluto up here at 2 degrees of Aquarius and conjunct the asteroid Pallas Athena. So we'll be talking about that as well. All right, now, so what does all of that mean? So, as I said, there's 7 points, and Pisces is the archetype of the mystic. It is an energy that really travels these spiritual realms, and it's really difficult for a lot of times for Pisces to be able to be here in this 3D realm. Pisces brings in the land of fairy, of magic, of the world of make believe and other dimensions. In not that recent past, not that long ago, in many cultures, people would say that when someone encountered the fairies and they would enter the land of fairy and never return. And so I feel like, it is about another dimension. These magical beings here on Mother Earth, they exist, but in different dimensions. And sometimes we enter their realms. And Pisces is one of those times of the doorways when that energy is just really strong. It brings in imagination and creativity. Now, this new moon may have us feeling scattered in our physical world, but open and receptive to our spiritual world. Our emotions are likely to be sensitive under the Pisces new moon as we navigate this very watery energy. Like I said, there's lots of water. And a friend of mine had a dream about she was standing on a beach and she saw the tsunami coming in. But there were people that were surfing the tsunami. So I feel like some of the message there that I got was it's about surfing this wave of emotion, this watery wave. We know the world is just really full of a lot of emotion and feelings right now. But the key is how to ride that wave, because when we don't is when we can drown in that emotion. We need to be gentle with ourselves and make time to go within. We must honor any sensitivities that come up. without allowing ourselves to be pulled down into too much darkness, because the whole there's Pisces opens us up, and it opens us up to everything. And Pisces is like a psychic sponge. And so it's important to know what is ours and what is not ours, because there's a lot of, I'm going to say, negative energy in the field. And the key, of course, is to raise our vibration so that we can transmute that and not get caught and pulled down in the undertow of all of this water, the darker emotions, and to know that we're much more sensitive to the collective. So recognizing what is ours and what is not ours. It's like when you walk into a room, you're feeling good, but you when you leave the room, you're not feeling good. What happened? Well, you picked up somebody else's stuff. So it's really important during this time of Pisces, recognizing that we're all going to be psychic sponges, to cleanse our energy field, to do the salt and soda baths, or to do salt scrubs under running water with a shower, put white light around ourselves, all the different ways that we can protect ourselves so that we know, so we stay in our own energy field and not collect other people's stuff. But is ruled by Neptune, which is about unconditional love. And it's unconditional love in the form of compassion. And they say compassion is the highest form of love. So how to feel compassion and be present for others without taking on their suffering is one of the really big challenges of Pisces. Know that the field is fertile for dreaming a new world into being, and it takes us into that space of possibility before things take form. Pay attention to your dreams. This is definitely a dreaming time. You may get some very powerful messages or guidance in your dreams. It's a time to meditate, pray, connect with nature and because the cosmos will be more accessible, because we will be traveling more in the spiritual realms. Pisces is also the last sign, so it often brings endings. So it may represent the final phase of a journey and the completion of a cycle. Pisces asks us to let go and trust the process. It reminds me of the Hopi prophecy of, where they say now is the 11th hour. And then they talk about the people jumping into the river. And it says, don't hang on to the side. Let go. Those who hang on to the side will be destroyed. Let go. Come into the center of the river and see who is there with you, and to know that the river has a destination, is taking you to a destination. Pisces asks us to let go of the illusion of control and surrender to the divine plan, to follow the flow of the energy, because it will take you to your destination. Pisces, all of this Pisces energy is about remembering who we are. It's about being and not doing. Now, the shadow of Pisces, we may feel like a victim or feel the need to rescue another that is perceived as a victim. It's important to stand back, have compassion, hold a space, but it's important to let everyone resolve their own karma and have their own experience. We may also feel a need to escape the challenges of the everyday world due to its harshness. And so we could have if we have an addiction, we may have real trouble with it, whether it's TV, shopping, substances, whatever it is. There may be a desire to escape, and to know the way to handle it is to really move more into the spiritual realm through prayer, meditation, nature, and allow yourself to escape into a higher frequency dimension. All right, now Mercury and Saturn are in Pisces. They're conjunct. They're conjunct the fixed star Markab in Pegasus, and they're also sextile Uranus. Okay, so Mercury, of course, is god of the mind. It says our thinking processes are more visual, intuitive, and imaginative. We may express ourselves with imagery and make decisions intuitively. We're more attracted to consciousness raising information, but there is a potential for miscommunication and deception, and to believe what we want to believe, not what is necessarily true. Now, when it's conjunct Saturn, though, it kind of really stabilizes some of the thinking and brings in a little more critical thinking skills, even though it's still in Pisces. So it's about bringing creative ideas into form, listening to our inner guidance. Saturn in Pisces is so much about our inner authority, our inner spiritual guidance. Saturn conjunct Pisces, excuse me, Saturn conjunct Mercury in Pisces asks us to manage our mind. Don't stress out over things that are out of your control. And very little is actually in your control except your response to the energy of what is in your field. Let go of the need to control and trust the process of what is unfolding. I saw this and I thought this was really good. It says, the only time anyone should watch the news is to study how psychological manipulation works on the general public. No, that is absolutely what's going on. The news is propaganda. The truth relies within yourself. It's good to be informed, but be very careful of your sources of where you get news and don't really rely as much on the news that is coming in the outer world because the real truth is what is happening in the inner world. Okay. Um, and to know, like I said, the truth lies within, and real truth aligns with love. Truth is a vibration that we feel. It's like when we get goosebumps, things when we just know something in our heart. That is truth. If you're confused, you're still in the mind, and that is not real truth. Yeah, and so we are wanting to align with that inner truth. All right. Uh, it's sextile Uranus in Taurus, which is about the deep connection with Mother Nature. Nature is truth, and getting downloads and messages from Mother Nature, grounded in the present moment. And synchronicities. Uranus always brings synchronicities, as does Pisces and Neptune. And synchronicities are the breadcrumbs the universe is leaving us. So follow the breadcrumbs. You're being guided. It's just our job to catch them. Okay. Conjunct the star Markhab in Pegasus. Pegasus is, of course, the magical horse, is the divine messenger. And I feel like this is very much about Mother Nature being a divine messenger at this time, having spiritual experiences in Mother Nature, profound downloads. All right. Now, the North Node and Neptune are in Pisces, and they're conjunct the star Shaat. And with Neptune in Pisces, we may feel the suffering of the world very deeply and know that much of it cannot be fixed. Okay. It is about how to be present and have compassion and raise the vibration to be supportive, but no fixing. Okay. Is compassion is the highest form of love when we can stay present to the suffering, but not take it on as our own, because that is when we drown in that tsunami of emotion that is in the field. And being able to hold compassion and truth, and knowing that the world we have known is dying and many are suffering in it. Okay, so it's both. There is a paradox there. Okay, the truth is the paradigm we have known is collapsing and many are suffering, and yet we're being asked to hold the truth of what is happening with the suffering that is happening. Okay. uh, and because that brings us into unity consciousness, is holding the whole experience of life as it is now and healing the polarity consciousness, recognizing that we all are faces of creator having a different experience, living from the heart of harmony, and to know that we are never alone. The way forward is asking for help, where the help is in the field. The invisible world is very much is every bit as real as the material world. And so know that whenever you pray, your prayers are always answered. They may not come in the form that you think it will. I found this and I thought it was lovely. It said, I asked for flowers and I was sent rain. So just know that it comes that way. Spirit hears your prayers. We are traveling in the realms of spirit and the higher frequency dimensions. And this could also help us become more aware that we are living in multiple dimensions at once. And it's up to you and your frequency to decide which dimension you are experiencing. And to know that the path of the heart is the frequency of love, and that this Pisces energy is telling us that we are in service to unconditional love. Now, it's conjunct the star Shaot in Pegasus as well. Pegasus is now at, Shaot is at 29 degrees of Pisces right now. And Shaot is about opening the crown chakra, and it is about being a receiver and a transmitter of divine messages. The Sabian symbol for this new moon is really powerful, and it is an aviator in the clouds. And once again, it is telling us that we are traveling in these higher frequency dimensions to step away from the chaos and connect with these higher realms. But we have to use our inner compass to find our way. Because the thing about Pisces and Neptune is always that there's a new vision coming, it's a new way forward. But all of the normal tools that we use to find our way are not necessarily working. So we really have to, the example, I've used it many times, I'll just use it again. It is like when the lights, in a power storm, you lose the lights and you have to find your way around in the dark, and you stub your toe a few times until you start really feeling the energy and you know where things are at. So it's about the activation of your inner compass, to use your inner compass to find your way right now and know that truth resides in the heart. The outer world is in chaos and it is not giving you the guidance that you need. So you have to go within. We're all being asked to go within. Okay. Now we have Mars in Cancer. Mars is still in Cancer at 17 degrees. Mars goes direct. Mars went direct on February 23rd. Thank the goddess. This has been a very difficult Mars retrograde. And Mars is a warrior and a protector. And in Cancer, it's very protective of family and clan. And it can make us very touchy and defensive. This is like a mama bear aspect. Okay. But someone asked this question and it really resonated with me. And I talked about it at the full moon, so I'm going to talk about it again. Has this Mars in Cancer, has it been able to show us that we have stepped into toxic tribalism? Toxic tribalism, our own can do nothing wrong. And this is a quote from Elizabeth Siegel, PhD. She says, toxic tribalism is a group identity that fosters the bullying and scapegoating of others not like you. Toxic tribalism joins people out of anger, jealousy, and spite, not for collective well-being. With the constant urging of toxic tribalism, we stay angry, and that can affect our personal well-being. When we stay angry, it really impacts our health. Holding that energy in is really hard on our body and our health, our mental health, our emotional health, and our physical health. And when we are afraid, and there's a lot of fear in the field as things are collapsing, when we are afraid, we find someone to blame. We are in the midst of a huge paradigm shift where everything is changing and it is bringing up a lot of fear. She goes on to say, we can step outside ourselves through empathy and see the world from the view of others. This is how to heal toxic tribalism. We can step outside of ourselves through empathy and see the world through the view of others. When we use empathy to understand others, we see how we are similar, how we are all human beings. Empathy can broaden our sense of connections to others that diminishes toxic tribalism. It's about finding common ground. When we heal the divide by opening our hearts to others, especially those who are not part of our tribe, and find common ground, because we can always find common ground. And that's where we want to focus our energy. Know that Mars is still out of bounds. It's out of bounds until April, I think it's April 7th. And it's really difficult to manage energy. When a planet is out of bounds, the energy is really difficult to manage. It's not fully in its regular orbit. It's a little further out. And this indicates potential for anger and conflict getting out of control. Um, a planet out of bounds can get out of control, and Mars is one of the most difficult energies to handle. And I'm certainly seeing people attacking those they disagree with in a very toxic environment. The thing it's important to remember is to need to monitor your own behavior, slow down and respond, not just react. And as I said, holding anger in your body can make you ill. That's why it's so important. You need physical activity to release it. Now, Mars was retrograde from December 6th to February 23rd, started off at 6 degrees of Leo and is now at 17 Cancer. Anyway, I feel like a piece of what this was about was unraveling the web of fear around the heart. And so that allows us to truly feel and live from the heart in service to the light. But as it's unraveling, is putting that fear into the field. So the key is to meet it with love to transmute it. And so this is about heart healing. I feel like this Mars retrograde was allowing us to as the web of fear unravels, it allows us to release old hurts and things that we've been holding on to. Okay. Another thing about Mars retrograde, and I heard many people talk about this, because Mars is also about our direction in life, that they have felt lost, kind of not knowing what their next step is. But now with Mars going direct, it's time. I think there's going to be a process of starting to know and understand, getting some clarity on what we want. Um, because it's what I feel like the Mars retrograde overall was about bringing us to a place in our heart that what excites us, what turns us on, what makes us come alive. But when our heart energy is all involved in old hurts, it's like we have to release those obstacles, those energetic obstacles of fear and fear of thinking you can't have what you want. That's the other piece. So the direction and next steps will start to clarify and show the way forward. Mars is trine Saturn, and that's a lovely aspect. And that gives us strength, ambition, and perseverance to take on hard tasks and complete them. Patience and self-discipline. This is excellent to follow through on something you are passionate about. Okay. Now it's also square Chiron. There's a lot in the field about self-empowerment. And square Chiron is about focus on healing your self-confidence, personal will, personal sovereignty, and fears of taking initiative or facing challenges. It's about being self-empowered. Personal sovereignty is where we say no and where we say yes, because what we say yes to is what determines our life and how it unfolds. What do you want your life to look like? And of course, Chiron brings up old wounds, so we could have some old wounds triggered. And with Mars, it is often, anger. And so when we're feeling angry, it's so important to own it. Say, this is my anger. Someone may have triggered it, but someone didn't make me angry. Because when we can own it, it shows us where a fundamental need is being ignored or dismissed. What do you need that you are not taking care of? And once we own the anger too, we can use it to create the determination to make necessary changes in our lives. And of course, the less reactionary we are, the better off you will feel. Okay. Or the less reactionary you are, the better off you will feel. Okay. All right. Venus in Aries. This is a really big one. Okay. So Venus is goddess of love, and she has moved into Aries. And Venus in Aries is bold, courageous, and direct. And she brings in personal sovereignty. With Venus in Aries, we may find there is a stronger need for self-sovereignty in our relationships and a need to value ourselves by standing up for ourselves. Venus is about Venus is love. And so she is uh, self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, as well as our relationships with others. She is both. She's also creativity. Okay. And like I said, in Aries, it's about personal sovereignty, authenticity of self. That's a really big one. Uh, I didn't point out in the chart, but she is opposite Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is at 10 degrees of Libra. And Black Moon Lilith is also about self-empowerment, but it brings up another shadow piece. And Black Moon Lilith in Libra shows us the shadow of the need of the Libran shadow of the need to compare oneself to others, or not really a need. It's a bit more of a behavior, a self-sabotaging behavior, comparing oneself to others or being a people pleaser so that others will like you. Because Venus in Aries is powerful. She's a powerful feminine energy. Okay. Now she goes retrograde on March 1st at 10 degrees, 49 minutes of Aries. And she's retrograde until April 12th, where she turns direct at Pisces, 24 degrees, 37 minutes. So Venus retrograde, just kind of generally, it's about a reevaluation of our relationships and a reevaluation of what has value and meaning for us, who and what we love. It really asks us is if we're in a relationship, is this the relationship I want, or does something need to change within the relationship? Um, or often too, with Venus retrograde, people from our past show up with whom we have unfinished business. That is another oft frequent manifestation that shows up with Venus retrograde. And if you're in a relationship, it's not time to leave a relationship, but it's really time to reassess, reevaluate, and see what changes may need to be made to be happier, okay, or to have more harmony, whatever it is you're seeking. But in Aries, it's I think it's also very much of a journey to heal any self-love, self-worth issues, a self-empowerment, and to be in charge of our own lives while recognizing the rights of others. Okay. With Venus retrograde in Aries, we have an opportunity to release illusions we hold about love and relationships and let go of everything that prevents us from moving through life with a fully open heart. Now, I'm going to share an experience that I had because I feel like it is super important and it does relate to this Venus retrograde. Uh, First, I'm going to tell you the Sabian symbol for this degree because it really brings it in really clearly. So the Sabian symbol for this degree is the president of the republic or ruler of one's country, excuse me, the president of the republic or the ruler of one's country. And of course, a lot of the divisiveness that is going on in our country right now has a lot to do with um, the political situation and the president of our country. So, I went to a ceremony. I had a birthday last week, and I went to a ceremony, and it was just wonderful, beautiful. But something that happened during the ceremony, a vision. I had a vision during the ceremony, and I'm going to do a screen share here. Let me find it here. Oh, here we go. All right, this is who showed up for me. Was the goddess Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. And she just kind of showed up. Anyway, she is a goddess of self-empowerment, but she's also, a warrior goddess, a lioness goddess. And who she actually is, she is the protector of Ma'at. And Ma'at is in Egyptian cosmology is the concept of divine order, cosmic truth, and cosmic justice. And the story around Sekhmet is that she was sent by Ra, the sun god. She's also known as the Eye of Ra. When the people were not living in divine order and cosmic truth. And she came in her destroyer aspect, and she she became um, very well, she was violent. She was destroying everything. And they had to get her drunk to stop the carnage because it was afraid she would destroy humanity. And after she woke up after being drunk, then everything was fine, but they had to stop her. Well, during this ceremony, I saw an image of our president, Donald Trump, with her face, and she was roaring. And she told me that he was her agent of change, chaos, and destruction. And I knew how things got out of control in the story of Sekhmet. So I asked, how could we avoid this carnage? And of course, we have Mars in, and I'm not making a political statement. I'm just saying the energy that I saw. I knew how Mars is out of bounds, and it's going to stay out of bounds until April 7th, so it's really difficult energy. And I knew how things got out of control in the story of Sekhmet. And she told me, she responded, the way to avoid this carnage was to raise our vibration and live in truth. All things that exist in truth will stand. And so when we are self-empowered, we are living in truth and service to the light. And so that is her message and it's so important to be able to get the bigger view, the bigger picture of what is happening. All right. So anyway, um, and I'm going to continue here with Pluto in Aquarius because I think it's still part of the same energy, the same story. Because, Pluto, wherever Pluto is, he shows corruption. And Pluto is in a sign many, many years. It was 15 years in Capricorn. It's going to be 20 years in Aquarius. And when Pluto was transiting in Capricorn, it showed us the corruption in our leaders and institutions that hold up our civilization. Capricorn is the bones, it's the structure. Whereas in Aquarius, it is about the systems. It is showing us the corrupted systems that we have, that those institutions, the internal workings of them. And to know the United States is still in the Pluto return energy, which is a death and rebirth. The system that it is showing us is the faceless, bureaucratic, technocratic systems. We are seeing this as the president is taking a wrecking ball to them. We know that our government is corrupt and this paradigm is collapsing. And from the message that I got from Sekhmet, this is some of these institutions, these systems need to be destroyed. Okay. But ultimately, Pluto is about the power of the people. And it is remembering the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was during the French Revolution. And it changed a paradigm, but it got completely and dangerously out of control. Like I said, Mars is out of bounds, which can indicate things getting out of control. And one of the shadow sides of Pluto in Aquarius is mob mentality, a very destructive energy, which really plays into the toxic tribalism. It's so important to heal the divide and to know the only place it can happen is in our own hearts. Only we can change ourselves. We can't change anyone else, and choosing to respond instead of react to the energy that is around us. Now, Pluto is also conjunct the stars of Aquila, the eagle, and he's also advising us to have the eagle's eye view, to see the bigger picture and fly above the storm. Don't engage in the drama of the collapse that is happening around us. There is a higher frequency coming in. Things are there. We are simply in the first, we're in the collapse, and it's hard to see the newer energy, the downloads that are coming, but they are coming. Things are changing. And it's so important to step back and observe and not engage in the drama. And it's about authenticity of self, because as we are more authentic and living in truth, it impacts the collective consciousness and ripples out, allowing others to walk in the world with authenticity and aligned with truth. We really don't know everything that is happening. So stand back and just kind of let things unfold. Hold your center and respond and not react. Live in your most authentic truth. All right. Now, so the conclusion for this is I'm just going to share is have an eagle's eye view and see the bigger picture. There is much destruction and collapse of the old paradigm. Don't hang on to the old paradigm. Let it go. If it's things are leaving your life, let them go, because something new is coming in. We just can't see it yet. Stand back and don't engage with the drama. The new is being born in the shell of the old, but it's a messy process. And during this time, the best thing we can do is to journey within ourselves, for that is where the real truth of the cosmos resides. Travel in the spiritual realms and raise your vibration. And as you do, it changes the collective energy. It raises the collective energy to align with the higher frequencies that are pouring in. Mother Earth is in her ascension process, and as we align with her, we will also ascend. And as we raise our vibration and align with love, we become self-empowered and in service to the light. Now, I want to close with this beautiful quote from the International Council of the 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. It says, as you move through these changing times, be easy on yourself and be easy on one another. You are at the beginning of something new. You are learning a new way of being. You will find that you are working less in the yang modes that you are used to. You will stop working so hard at getting from point A to point B the way you have in the past, but instead will spend more time experiencing yourself in the whole and your place in it. Instead of traveling to a goal out there, you will voyage deeper into yourself. Your mother's grandmother knew how to do this. Your ancestors from long ago knew how to do this. They knew the power of the feminine principle, and because you carry their DNA in your body, this wisdom and this way of being is within you. Call on it, call it up, invite your ancestors as the yang-based habits and decaying institutions on our planet begin to crumble. Look up. A breeze is stirring. Feel the sun on your wings. And that was advice in every ceremony I've ever been through. When we are going through some really hard parts, our leader and mentor always said, look up, raise your thoughts, raise your vibration. And that's the way to travel through this challenging energy. And something new is coming. Let the old go. All right, wishing you all a wonderful couple of weeks coming up. If you like this video, please check like and subscribe. And if you're interested in a reading, I'm still having a discount on my readings. The information is in the description box. All right, so namaste. Blessings to all.